So I currently run a $25,000 per month social media marketing agency with one productized service. And I started from zero just like anyone else. And in this video, I want to share with you the 4 key things that I feel actually made the difference and moved the needle for me, making more money, retaining clients, and actually figuring this whole puzzle piece of an agency out. Because I may be just like you, bouncing from course to course, or different coach or consultant teaching how to do this, and some of it just didn't resonate with me. And so as I've gotten to where I am now, there are really a few key things that actually make a difference. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what those are. And it's my exact process that I personally went through. So this may not work for you. This may be different than what you're hearing from someone else, but this was my actual experience. So let me break these down and show you like tactically how to do this stuff and what I did. So the first thing to mention is that traditional kind of courses or content teach to pick a niche. And I think I've probably even said that in my videos, and you technically do have to pick a niche. But the way that I actually unlocked the door to the first part of turning this into an actual business was not by sitting in my room and looking at a list of niches, right? If you were to ask me when I started an agency 7 years ago, if I would be working with the type of people that I work with now, I would have literally said, no, I had no idea that I would be working with investors. So I didn't just sit there, plan it all out, and then everything just went perfectly to plan. I started pretty much organically how probably everyone else starts, which is you say yes to every single project that you could potentially get because you need to make money, and you gain experience through saying yes a bunch of times. And then as you say yes, you realize, okay, I have no leverage. I got to really kind of cut out the noise here, what's actually working. And that was what eventually led me to interacting with my first investor. And so this brings us to point number 1, which is picking a specific problem. So instead of sitting in your room and looking at a list, right, of niches or bouncing around between a bunch of different niches, what I did when I got introduced to a real estate investor was he presented to me a specific problem, right? So I had already generated leads with Facebook ads and Messenger and funnels. I already had quite a bit of experience as just a general consultant. But what he shared was, hey, I know you know how to generate leads and build funnels and all this stuff like that. But what I'm looking for is to find off-market leads, people that have properties that they haven't listed on the market that need to sell. And these are properties that are usually like distressed or whatever. So what I did, right, was an actual customer or an actual person in this industry or niche, which everyone could be categorized as within a niche or industry, right? But what I did was, he presented to me this, he basically told me exactly what I had to do to get him to buy, right? And I think so many people sit there and think about, oh, should I pick this niche? And you're doing worksheets and all this stuff. And if you actually just start talking to people, you're going to realize there's literally a business with every person you talk to. You talk to me or, talk to me, it's you'll hear through things I share that I'm figuring out or whatever. It's like, there's a business fixing this problem that he has, right? You talk to your mom or your dad or a friend or family or, a lead or whatever. And if you actually listen, you're going to realize there's a business right there. Like, I could talk to somebody and within 5 minutes think of a business that or a product that they would basically buy or a service because of what they're saying, if you understand how this stuff works, right? So instead of sitting there, right, thinking of a niche and what they're going to buy and all this stuff, pick a specific problem, which, he basically told me what it was. So I knew from my experience of Facebook ads and funnels and also what I was interested in, how I could turn what it was that I was good at and skilled at and turn it into a solution, right? So if I was really good at door knocking or I loved door knocking, I could have made a business around that and said, hey, I'll go door knock, and get you leads. I could say, hey, I'll go drive to drive for dollars and get you leads. Like there's literally a million ways to solve what problem, he had presented to me, right? So taking it out of more the higher level view of how this stuff works, let's get into the actual process and the tactics, right? So I knew how to run Facebook ads. I knew how to build funnels. I knew how to do all that stuff. So I literally went to the Facebook ad library. Like you can do this too. It's a free tool. And what I did was I already knew how to look at people's ads. I already knew how to find different funnels and stuff. And just to kind of simplify it here, what you can do is like you can type in certain keywords here and find different people that are running ads for specific businesses. So I think I was doing solar. So at least before the video, I wanted to just check. But what you look for here, right, is people who have already demonstrated a solution to the lead or potential customer that you have. So for example, let's say he was in solar and he said, hey, I'm looking for homeowners who, want to basically install solar. I would have done this exact process, right? Since I was familiar with ads, I was familiar with Facebook, I was familiar with funnels and all this different stuff. So for me, it was pretty much common sense. And so what I started to do was I started to look through these different ads that people were running, and I started to look for either agencies or nationwide brands that were running a lot of different ads. And why would I do that? Well, if I find one, personal brand person running one ad for one day, right? There's not really any data behind why I would base or solve the problem for this client this way, right? Because there's only one unique person running one unique ad and he turned it on today, right? I want to find an agency, right, that has built their entire business and their entire product and solution around a type of solution for the type of client that I have, right? Or a company, like a solar company that has, either multiple different, it's not usually not branches in solar, but just they have different locations, or they're nationwide, right? As much data as I could get is what I wanted to base how I would solve the problem on, right? So like I said, you're looking for proof of concepts that have proven themselves over time, right? And so just because I think I'm familiar with this one from doing this on other videos, let's see if I can pull up their ads. I don't know if this is going to show, but basically I would find, and you can even look at pages like this. That one doesn't have any, but what you're looking for is a page, right? Whether it's an agency or it's an actual business, whatever it may be. Here you go, jackpot, 320 ads. Like I said, I think I've already seen this one before. And what are we looking for? Templates, proof of concepts, right? So I've done this enough to where I know here's like a jackpot, right? And I can tell you how you can figure out that. One is the page should have multiple ads. Two, the page should have multiple ads in different locations, Texas. This one just says homeowners. This one says New York. So these are good signs, right? And then also if you paste these templates, right, or the ad copy, we should find more ads. If we can find a greater amount, right, 170, now we're finding people utilizing this, because at the end of the day, either the agency or whoever started solving the problem found it from somewhere else, right? Everything, there's a pretty good quote, I can't remember who it's by, but basically everything you need to know is within some sort of book somewhere, right? So if we take that into agency world and building a digital service, all these solutions are out there on some website somewhere, right? Like you can find it based on what someone's doing. And so, like I said, we have something like this, and we can see 3,000 different templates, and you can actually see that this, for whatever reason, this copy is actually translating across multiple niches, right? And then now I've found a potential solution for this business. So instead of thinking about a client and who I should go out and get, see if you can find a massive like live case study. And now look, here's a potential. All you have to do is now look, here's a business right here that is running 220 ads, and now you can go to all the local flooring companies in your area. Sorry, I think it cut out. And there's your proof of concept, right? Like here it is. I wasn't even looking for that, and I found another proof of concept. So what you want to do is find a large amount of basically ads that are running that are similar or templatized, because that means that, hey, there's something here. And then you can totally make it your own, and it's in no way is it copying or anything, because you don't even need to run the exact ad. You just find, hey, somebody solved this problem with ads, and they use this copy, this video, this funnel, whatever it may be, and then you can just use it as a frame, right? It's like if you want to go build a house, you don't have to go in the middle of nowhere where there's never been a house built before and start from scratch. It's like, okay, well, let's go look at this house. How did they build this? Or ask somebody that's done it, right? This is why mentorship is so important. But this is what I did. This was the exact thing that I did. I remember where I was sitting when I saw, and I was like, I can do this. And then that's what led me to where I am. So that's point number one. That's how you can do that. Find the problem, find someone that's solved the problem in a large enough data set, and then use that as a model. And then you can use your skills to either build, a funnel or a lead form or whatever. I have other videos on that. But that's the idea of, cool, I just found a bunch of different businesses. Here you go. Here's another one. If companies do window and door transformations or replacements, whatever, here's a proof of concept for that, right? And then, oh, well, what funnel do I make? Oh, well, there's the funnel right there, right? So there's so many ways you can do it. But like I said, this should get you out of the being in your head thinking about, okay, who do I target? What's step one? Just pick the problem based on real live data on what you've observed people solving, right? That means there's some sort of money in it, right? Follow the money. If people are running ads for their business and they do solar, it's probably working. If there's a bunch of agencies doing it, it's probably working. It's validated, it's proven, right? So that should get you out of step one. And then step two is building a minimum viable product, right? So you can see here, all you need to do, right? And I show this in one of my programs, like you don't even have to go build a slide deck or anything like that. Hold on. Yeah, so this is a, video from my community, and you'll see, like, I show how to do this, but in this doc link, I think is public. So if you want to type all this out or screenshot it, you can go to this. But this is how I show people how to, like, even design their presentation, right? Because people think they have to go and build a funnel, build the ad, look, find the proof of concept where there's clear signal that people are getting paid to solve the problem and it's working. It's simple as that. Then lay out your system with just steps, right? If you're going to run ads like how I do and what I show people how to do, and that's your service, then all you got to do is screenshot the proof of concept and say, look, here's the idea. We're going to make it different. I'm going to do a different ad or whatever. But in general, it's going to stay within the pocket of what we can see is working, right? And you can take a screenshot here. Here's a funnel. Here's the calendar page. Here's the thank you page. Here's the automation. Here's how this is going to work. And this is all just screenshots, right? And then I just show people, look, literally I'm not even kidding. The first client that I signed up for my investor system, he paid $5,800 up front, and I didn't have anything. I literally didn't have anything. I didn't have an ad. I didn't have a previous investor client. I didn't have a funnel. I didn't have anything. It was literally us talking and me telling him what I'm telling you, which is like, okay, I know what ads to run. I know what this, like, that was it. So even this, like, wasn't even required, right? So that should help you solve steps 1 and 2, because if you just find a specific problem where people are getting paid to figure it out consistently, then you have a validated market. 2, build the minimum viable product. Just compile the frame, right? It's like when you create a blueprint or a concept, you don't have to go build the whole building and then go and say, hey, who wants to buy this building and rent it out or whatever, right? You can literally say, hey, let's create a blueprint, let's create a frame, let's create what it would look like. Let me get your feedback, and then, okay, cool. You don't want white paint, you want black paint, or you want brown paint, whatever. Cool. Then you can adjust it before you go and do all this work. So this is still a lost art. I think people, spend so much time not talking to people that they forget this is how it works. So that's the second thing I did, was I didn't have to go and build some huge thing. I just step by step, minimum viable product. It wasn't even a product. It was just air. It was just a concept, an idea. Once I got paid, then I built it. And then that client's still with me to this day. So if you don't think that works, well, not only did he pay up front, but then he's literally been working with me for 4 years and he loves the service. So it works. Okay. So number 3 is getting clients. So the progression that I went through was outreach, like doing direct email outreach with videos like this. I've always loved making videos. I can't tell you any other way, really. I have made cold calls. I've made thousands of calls. I used to, run ads and call people. I mean, I've done a lot of calls, but my favorite one that was sustainable was doing direct outreach with video, right? And I have a video on how to do that. It's the Zillow one if you go back on the channel. And so, yeah, outreach is where you kind of have to start if you don't have any money. Once you get successful doing outreach, you'll have some money, and then you want to get into ads. And then while you're doing that, you want multiple inbound sources from either referrals. But the ultimate kind of goal is to transition from any one of those into education, right? And that's what I do on this channel. And I get investor clients from this channel from showing them valuable stuff, right? And so that really has made the biggest difference in, growing my business. Is I've transitioned into education. So it takes longer when you're starting out. That's why you need to do stuff in the now to get business. But then eventually the goal should be to build an actual brand that people trust and provide education and give stuff away for free, because then they're going to want to work with you, right? And then step 4 is productize the service. So once you have a client who's made a profit from the system, just imagine you're like a scientist, right? And you're testing all these different, chemicals together, right? You're testing this, you're testing that. And you're basically, you want a specific chemical reaction, which in this case is you get a client, you solve their problem, and they make money. And in what I do for clients, right? If you're doing anything with digital marketing, I mean, your goal is to pretty much produce a return, unless you're doing something else, but that's what I'm good at, is like, you give me $1 and I'll give you 5 through our system. So if you're doing something not like that, it's a little harder to tell you what I've done, because that's not what I've done. So the chemical reaction you're looking for is like, hey, you give me $1 and I give you 5, right? And so once you literally, you combine all those different ingredients and all those different chemicals, and you get that end reaction or result, which is like they made money, that is basically, you write that thing down, you look at the exact ad, you look at the exact headline, you look at the exact image, you look at the text messages they sent to the lead, the emails, the phone calls, everything you can do to literally create a linear and logical, like, straight line path of like, here's everything I did, and then here's what they did, and here's what ended up happening. There's your nexus of success. That's the seed, right? That is the seed that you then go and share with others, and that seed creates like a plant, right? And then you go to for me, investors who want that plant. Oh, I want that plant. And then off you go. That is literally it. But so many people have like 10 different plants, or they don't know where to even start. And then they just literally, they're handcuffed, right? And so when you get that nexus of success, you'll eventually compile just case studies, right? And I just updated my website for investors that, where they can use our software, our GoHighLevel, and I just added some more that we've got recently. But like, this is what happens. This took me so long to compile all this stuff because I stuck with what I'm telling you. But this is all legit. These are all, like, everything you see here is a literal profitable deal that somebody got from our system. And now, like, I mean, there's more that I didn't even ever screenshot or just don't even know about, but like, this is what I have. And this is it. This is the nexus of success right there. It's literally just like anything else. It's like, you do something, like you eat a certain food. It's just like a recipe. It's like, that's how you make this in the best particular way, right? That's why I think there's some sort of, you guys may know better than me, but there's some sort of like, some sort of thing like the Coca-Cola ingredient. Like, there's like something, I don't know. There's something where like the two owners of the company or something can't fly on a plane at the same time or something like that, because if anything happens, like, only one of I don't know, something with the recipe. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you figure it out. It takes so much work to get a business like off the ground and getting product market fit. Like, you just go through enough realization that you don't want to guess anymore. And like, I get a client, I don't even think, what are we doing? What just boom, launch the same templates and let's go, right? And they like it better because they know I'm not over there guessing and thinking, what do I do? How does this work? They're just like, I want what's predictable, right? At the end of the day, there's a lot of hype and there's always new things coming out, but there's an ebb and flow, and people kind of always default back to like what's predictable, right? Like, if you spend too much time in the unpredictable, if everything was unpredictable, like you're trying new marketing, everything's totally new, it probably gets a little, it's probably hard to keep moving forward because you have no stability, right? You want to know, hey, I'm going to plug this in. This is going to work effectively. And it's going to work, right? You don't want to just have something that's always like, oh shoot, I have no idea what this is going to do, right? So people default back to what is predictable, what's going to work, right? You probably have seen it in your own life. You go and try something new, and then what happens? You realize, whoa, what was I doing? Let me go back to what's working. So it's just so funny how like it's the same thing for like systems. Like, you think it's a new thing or a new this or a new that you need to add in, but then at the end of the day, the client just wants what's predictable, what's going to work, and what's proven, right? And you only have that authority to actually tell the client, yo, this is what's working, when you stick with it long enough. And that's why my clients are like, oh, I'm not going to like change what's working. Like, if it's working for these guys, it's going to work for me. Like, simple as that, right? So model what works, and hopefully this added some value. And would love to, if you're like more interested in either one-on-one help with me or just like want to be in a community with other people kind of walking this path, there's links below. Would love to, have you either in the group or if you want to connect with me. But I'm loving my agency more than ever. It's the most fun it's ever been. And there's so many things I'm working on to share with you guys that I'm still actively experiencing. Just so that I can pass these learnings along with, to you guys. That's kind of my thought process, is like, at least for me, if I'm going to learn from somebody, it's like, I want them to either be doing it as they're teaching me and they're just way further ahead of me, or they've done it and like they have a really good reason why they're not doing it anymore, right? Like, maybe they've retired or something and they're 70 years old or something, right? Obviously you could have other reasons in that, but that's what I enjoy. I don't, somebody does it once for a year and then you know, it's like, that's not really who I'd like to learn from. So I'm running my agency, I'm getting clients, I'm running ads, I'm doing A2P stuff. Like I'm right there with you guys. So yeah, would love to connect with you guys. And yeah, links will be below for that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you guys think and if this helped. All right, peace.